What's up, people? It's your boy Jatwa, and I am here in Kerbal Space Program 2. I wanted to show you guys how quickly this game loads up now with a mod called Speedy Startup. So what you're seeing here is live, real-time, quick startup with everything in the background. And this is absolutely wonderful and how I see the game should be starting up. Look at this, how quick that is. And yes, I am on an NVMe, but still, that is fantastically fast for a startup. Let's get into the real game though. Water in Kerbal Space Program is not exactly the best at the current moment. You have various wonky physics things going on, and it can be temperamental at times. You can land on it at times, but you can also sink all the way to the bottom at times. Other times you'll land on top and float. So I started looking at different parts that should float consistently and tried to think of a way to make a reusable launch platform that could be put on the water. So I started by checking out the cockpits, and I realized that if I went and stacked the cockpits, it made a super stable type of buoy, and I could use that with a long segment of these beams, and that would allow me to have a really stable launch platform, oddly enough, that would allow me to accomplish the task of having a reusable launch platform for the water. Now, the fact that it's super stable is kind of an oddity. It tends to react like a Kerbal would and bounces on top of the water, but it stays mostly in one spot and the water goes around it. A few catches here: you don't want to lean it in any which direction, otherwise you will start accelerating, and it's a little unpredictable, slightly controllable, but hey, it's usable. So my first test flight went a bit poorly. A few of my other designs tended to make the craft flip upside down because the weight was too high on the top. So I realized, you know what I can do to make this thing more stable is add a big fuel tank to the bottom, hang it down low, and that should allow it to be more stable. So that actually lowers the center of mass down to about the water level of the craft, and that allows me to have a usable launch platform. So all I need to do here was build a craft on top of all this. I did so. I attached it to couplers and launched the craft, got towards my orbit, detached all these the first stage so I wouldn't have to carry that along with me or, you know, use my return stage, and then I achieved orbit. But I noticed something that was very, very odd. So when you launch from this platform, what's going to happen is it's not really detecting that I'm launching. Okay, so yeah, you'll see that the stage, it still says, you know, you can skip the countdown, except for I'm already in orbit. And you can see the altitude, the apoapsis and periapsis. Everything looks absolutely perfect. You know, I didn't really nail the perfect orbit, but not too shabby. Except for there is no orbit showing in the map. As far as the game's concerned, I'm still landed. So we have this little minor bit of an issue, which I find rather curious. So I did want to go ahead and see if some of the mods actually had the ability to still be used in case I did launch like this. And yes, R2D2 and my other mods, they all seem to work just fine. Very interesting. So I could, if I had fuel, actually set this up to go to the moon or Minmus with whatever craft I had that was light enough to launch on this platform, and then I would be able to fly, return, and hopefully somehow fix the staging and the orbit, so that way I could, you know, manually do my nodes if I needed to. But for the time being, I have no maneuver plans because there is absolutely no orbit and things are looking quite interesting. So I decide, okay, not a big deal. I was only really supposed to go to orbit. I'm going to go ahead and deorbit myself. I have to do everything manually, and it comes down and comes to a success. Except for, you know, on landing on the water, one very interesting thing happens. I touched the water, my parachute stay open, and I start sinking. So these are some small minor details. I'll probably have to send in a few bug reports, but hey, it was a successful launch, a successful landing, and the craft just keeps going down. So I decide to eject my Kerbal and let him just kind of bounce on the top of the water. He does a little water walking, and there you go, Kerbal Jesus. And we are, that's mission success. Mission success. So from here, all I really have to say is water launch platforms are completely viable now, as long as you're not, you know, making a super heavy craft or trying to launch too far. If you're just doing a little local LKO, or you're going to the moon or Minmus, quite viable. You could probably ramp this up. I have not tried it yet because I haven't had time, but hey, there you go. So this is your boy Jatois. If you like what you see, hit that like button, drop me in the comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've tried this. If not, try it and let me know your results, and I hope to catch you in the next video. For now, it's your boy Jatois, and I am out of here. Peace.